tonight. This Saskatchewan town is set to get a new long-term care home, but some worry about how it'll be operated. Prince Albert firefighters call for more resources as fire calls increase. And this young boxer is looking to make it to the Youth Olympic Games with the help of her dad.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Tuesday, February 3rd, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. The province is looking to team up with a third party to build and run new long-term care homes in Estevan and Watson, communities that have been trying to replace their existing homes for years. But after extensive community-driven fundraising efforts, some are concerned about how these new homes will be run under a third party. Katie Swires has our top story.
From the gas station to a local coffee shop, the town of Watson is covered in hearts, part of fundraising efforts to help replace this, the community's aging long-term care home built in the 1960s.
The lodge was kind of on its last steps, so it wasn't going to be there long-term, maybe another 10 years. In my mind.
The fundraising started a decade ago, but with municipalities required to foot 20% of the bill, it was a heavy lift.
We were assuming about $5 million, which had us devastated. We have no idea how we're going to do that. We have about 445 tax properties, so that means each property would be responsible for about $11,000.
It's why many were relieved when the province announced it was looking for third parties to build and operate new care homes in Estevan and Watson.
The communities they're asking questions how a third party will run this, but at least they're believing that we are going to get a structure built.
But several healthcare unions are concerned about the new homes being privately run.
We know that when we take money out of the public system and give it to someone that's there to make a profit, things are going to suffer. Care is going to suffer.
I guess you always take that risk. It does have to be run according to Saskatchewan health rules. So we are trusting that the people who are in charge are going to take care of this.
The foundation will still have control over the $1.5 million raised so far for furniture and equipment. Weber is hoping there will be good communication with the third party, and it will be open to community input.
If it isn't what we were looking for or up to our standards, it is up to us to speak up.
The province is accepting proposals until March. The hope is that residents can move into these new homes in Watson and Estevan by summer 2029. Katie Swires, CBC News, Watson.
The province is making changes to its income support program for people with disabilities. It says it's simplifying the program to better address client needs, but the opposition NDP is calling on the province to reverse direction, and disability advocates say the changes look like cuts that will cause people to fall further behind.
Well, I guess that our main concern is that really this looks like a move towards cost savings and cuts towards some of the poorest and most vulnerable people in the province.
One of the changes is that instead of covering the actual cost of utility bills, the program will provide flat rates. It also removes benefits the government says clients were not using. The changes are scheduled to take effect April 1st. And the province is extending its secondary suite incentive. It's a program to entice homeowners to add a rental suite within their existing property.
The secondary suite incentive has been one of the most effective housing tools we've seen in Saskatchewan, literally unlocking foundations, helping homeowners build high-quality secondary suites, adding rental supply in established neighborhoods, and easing affordability pressures across the province.
You now have until March 2027 to incur construction costs to build a secondary suite. The program pays up to 35% of the costs to a maximum of $35,000. Around 1,000 secondary suites have been added in Saskatchewan since the program began in 2023. The amount of vacant office space in Saskatoon's downtown rose last year, and it's now one of the highest rates in Canada. But it's not because companies are fleeing the downtown. Phil Tank explains why.
You're looking at one of the main culprits when it comes to downtown office vacancy in Saskatoon. These two towers added a bunch of new downtown office space. So some companies moved into the shiny new buildings and left their old office spaces behind. This real estate expert says it will take some time to fill that vacated space.
It's just going to take, years yet, another 2, 3, 4 years to get down to that 5-7% vacancy in the downtown market, presuming that we go back to decent leasing.
Office vacancy downtown soared to nearly 20% at the end of last year, but the national downtown vacancy rate dropped to around 15%, and Regina's dipped closer to 12%. But the perception of downtown Saskatoon is changing, and part of the credit goes to talk of a downtown arena district called Deed.
Downtown still has its, I don't know if you want to call it stigmas, but its challenges that occupiers are dealing with. I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I think people have seen improvements in the last year, marked improvements. I think people see Deed on the horizon, and that's starting to change the conversation about occupying downtown.
Right now, though, the downtown restaurant industry is struggling. Those businesses rely on office workers.
It would be great to see, again, more of our offices full so that they're coming down and having lunch and then maybe staying afterwards for dinner.
But buildings downtown are still selling, and that shows faith in the future.
I think right now there's opportunity to get, some really good deals downtown and really flip this around into a good news story.
Phil Tank, CBC News, Saskatoon.
There is heartbreak across Canada's hockey community after the deaths of 3 young Junior A players in Alberta. JJ Wright, Cameron Kazora, and Caden Fine were members of the Southern Alberta Mustangs. They died in an accident about 100 kilometers south of Calgary when their car collided with a truck carrying gravel while they were on their way to practice. The Humboldt Broncos issued a statement extending condolences to those affected by the tragedy. The mayor of Humboldt says he was compelled to offer his condolences after remembering the people who reached out to his community following the 2018 crash.
In remembering what they did and how that affected our community, I think it was very important to return the favor, to do something, to reach out and to express our condolences, and that we know what they're going through, and we're happy to lend a hand if need be.
A memorial has been set up outside the arena the 3 played in. All 3 were in their first season with the team. Fine, just 17 years old, was from Birmingham, Alabama. 18-year-olds Kazora and Wright were both from Kamloops, BC. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. The Prince Albert Fire Department says its call volumes have been going up, all while its budget has remained about the same. It's prompted the city's firefighters union to urge City Council to follow through on a proposal to build 2 new fire stations. Lisa Rism has that story.
Go ahead, Engine 12.
Prince Albert Fire Department says the number of calls it's getting has almost doubled over the last decade, up 91% since 2015. Call volumes rose by 9% last year, bringing in the highest number of calls ever recorded. The deputy fire chief says all of these extra calls are disrupting non-emergency duties.
It does mean that the trucks are rolling out more often. It means that there's more interruptions during the day, which has an impact on the amount of training that the staff can do.
Paul says the biggest jump over the previous year came from outdoor and wildland fires, mainly due to fires in homeless encampments. The Prince Albert Firefighters Union says crews have noticed an increased workload. It wants the city to hire more staff.
We have 2 or 3 incidents happening all simultaneously, and it puts a lot of stress on a very small number of individuals to handle all those situations.
The union president says the city is ignoring a proposal to build 2 additional fire halls, one in the east and one in West Hill. Hunter says they're needed to maintain national response time standards.
It takes us a long time to get from point A here, which used to be centrally located, now to the outlying parts of the city, which 8, 9, 10 minutes sometimes, depending on traffic and road conditions. So that's a lot can happen in those few minutes that nobody wants to see.
But the mayor of Prince Albert says with a new $80 million wastewater treatment plant underway, the city is unable to take on more debt. So for now, any new fire stations are on hold.
There are competing priorities, and the key thing is with wastewater management If we can't get our wastewater plant up to a standard, then the city, worst possible outcome, we would lose their certification.
While the new fire stations won't be built, the city says it has created a public safety reserve fund of $500,000 for future police and fire needs. Lisa Rism, CBC News, Prince Albert.
That's all. Thank you, UK. It's been a wonderful 5 years.
Longtime Saskatchewan MP Ralph Goodale is wrapping up his stint in London. Goodale had served as Canada's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom since 2021. He is now retiring and will be heading back to Saskatchewan with his wife Pam. Goodale will be replaced by Liberal MP and former Cabinet Minister Bill Blair. Stay with us. We have more news and Mickey's forecast after the break. Well, there is a good chance you've maybe watched or at least heard of Heated Rivalry, the Canadian series that features two professional hockey rivals who fall in love with each other. Saskatchewan-born Chayla Hunter was the intimacy coordinator for the series, and she tells us what that involves.
And, you know, the first time I read the scripts, I felt that I was reading something so special and unique, and that was really exciting. And that continued to be a feeling that I had through the process of production. Honestly, Hudson and Connor, just total gems of humans. Incredibly talented, incredibly committed, very kind, so much integrity, both of them. I would say, like, from my perspective, my primary core value is to ensure that any scripted action that includes intimacy, so that can be kissing, various forms of intimacy, nudity, hyperexposure, or a lot of other things that kind of like fall under the umbrella of intimacy. So any scripted action that involves intimacy that's going to occur on the day and be filmed, my primary goal is to ensure that it is being fully consented to by the people who will be participating in it, so the actors, and that all of their boundaries and consent levels are being respected and adhered to in the process of filming it. As an actor, you want to tell the story well, you want to often please the director or do a good job, you know, and that combined with all kinds of like ideological power structures and lived experience and inequities and circumstances on the day can lead people to feeling coerced or feeling invisible or visible pressure to say yes to things that they aren't comfortable with. So an intimacy coordinator hopefully interrupts that and is able to help tell the story within the actors' consent levels and boundaries so that they feel comfortable and respected and confident about what they're doing and aren't participating in anything that they don't want to.
And weather specialist Mickey Wolf joins us now. Things heating up on the screen with Heated Rivalry and also heating up temperature-wise in our province as well.
Oh, Ethan, Heated Rivalries is definitely setting the tone for some of the weather we're about to see because we are trending a lot hotter across the province as we get into the week. Let's take a look at those daytime highs today because we saw some warm temperatures here. Maple Creek, as always, the leader of the province in terms of those daytime highs of +9 today. The central region still hanging out around freezing, just below freezing, but we will see a warm up across Saskatchewan over the next few days. Our skies tonight, we are seeing chances of flurries for parts of south and central Saskatchewan, and we will get some snow overnight, but where that's falling is mostly going to be the north. We've got a low pressure system making its way into the province overnight tonight, and then by tomorrow morning, we're definitely going to start seeing that snowfall amount really affecting the north, narrowly missing much of south and central Saskatchewan. And then we've got some mixed sun and cloud to look forward to in the province across the next few days. Now, again, we're not expecting much snowfall in terms of accumulation for south and central Saskatchewan, but we are seeing numbers closer to heavy snow in the far north, especially Stony Rapids, potentially seeing up to 18 centimeters by Friday. Now, taking a look at our visibility tonight, things are warmer across the province, but we're seeing some fog, which is going to create some reduced visibility for our drives. We're seeing that potentially affecting the southeast as we get into those morning hours. And then by noon, by that lunch hour, hopefully things will be clear again. And we've got a little bit of wind gusts here as well across southern Saskatchewan tomorrow into the afternoon. Then we're going to see that gusting return Thursday as well throughout the day. Temperature-wise, we are seeing a warmer week here across the province and for the western provinces overall. As we get into Friday, things are cooling down just a little bit, but taking a look at our temperatures for the rest of the week in Regina, it's looking warm and sunny and beautiful until Saturday and Sunday, and then things start to trend a little bit more seasonal, shall we say. For February, we might see a little bit of snow as well as we get into Tuesday. For Saskatoon, we are seeing those warmer temperatures. Not a lot of wind to speak of here either. You know, Regina's expecting some breezes into the week, but not so much for Saskatoon. We've got some sunny skies to look forward to before things start to clear up. So Ethan, I'm looking forward to a warmer week to start us off in February. Things are feeling nice out there.
Yeah, it'll be nice after that deep freeze earlier this winter. Thank you so much, Mickey.
Thank you.
Well, Havanna Demers knows how to come out swinging. The teenager is a rising young boxer in our province, medaling at the provincial and national level. Now she has her eyes set on qualifying for the next Youth Olympic Games. And she's doing it with the help of her dad, who's also her coach.
Boxing is a science. Different strategies for different opponents, different styles, and I think that's what I like most about boxing is just how technical it is. It's a sweet science, really. My sister wanted to take karate, and she started kickboxing, and it looked interesting, so I decided to join. My dad's like, well, why do kickboxing? I've done boxing all these years, so he started training me and my sister at home, and I did that for a couple years when I was little. And then when I became like 11, 12, I got interested in competing, and that's from when I started competing, and I've got 17 fights now from then. I wouldn't want any other coach. He's the best, and it's just also awesome that he's my dad. He's a very good coach.
So many people tell me that, like, oh, my children are so hard to work with. I've just been blessed. I mean, everybody wants that one athlete. Jab your body, there you go. And I'm just blessed that that one athlete's my daughter, you know. It's amazing. I'm there for every round, every drop of sweat, everything. So we're on this journey together.
Since I medaled at Nationals, Boxing Saskatchewan sent me to this training camp, and we decided to go. Training camp was so amazing, getting to work with the best coaches in Canada, the best athletes in Canada. I learned so much I'm going to implement in my training from now on, and like sparring with those girls, like it was so awesome, so fun, challenging. It was amazing.
So proud to see the performance that she put in. She was in the ring. She shared the ring with 4 Canadian champions and 3 medalists. All of these girls are at least provincial champions.
It's amazing. I'm proud of myself for getting this far. Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of work, though. It's going to be high level.
She has that X factor, her height. She's an absolute, she's 6 feet tall, so she has reach, and she also has grit, and that's something you can't train. When she digs deep, she wants it, and that was one of the things that was highlighted by the coaches.
I'm very long. I do fight differently, I would say. I don't know how to compare myself to the other boxers, but I'm very tall, very long. I just keep pumping that jab, they can't touch me, you know? She's
such a hard worker. She deserves it. She deserves it more than anybody. She's going to get a chance to show everybody that she's the best.
To get to the Olympics is crazy. It's crazy. Thailand's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to train really hard for it. Go in there, fight hard, hopefully get that gold so I can get to the Olympics.
The opening ceremony for the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics is just a few days away. You are looking at one of 2 cauldrons that will be lit on Friday. The other is in Cortina, and you can see workers putting the finishing touches on everything. Stay with us. We'll have more on the Olympics and a final look at the forecast after the break. Competition at the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics begins Wednesday, but Canada's Olympic figure skating team has been dealt a major blow. World champions Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps will not compete in the team event at the Olympics. Stellato-Dudek suffered an injury during training in Quebec. The severity of that injury has not been shared, but the two have not yet withdrawn from the individual pairs event. And Team Canada and the world's best athletes are converging in northern Italy, and Milan's Olympic Village is coming to life. You can see Team Canada is really showing its colors. The village features several spaces designed for relaxation and well-being. It includes a gym, video game area, bar, makeup areas, and a large canteen. And the Ice House is no more. Team USA is changing the name of its Milan hospitality venue. The facility for hockey players, figure skaters, and speed skaters will now be called the Winter House. Officials say the change was made due to concerns about protests in Milan. Those started when it was revealed ICE agents would be deployed to the Winter Games to bolster security for American diplomats. And Mickey is back now with one last look at our forecast.
Well, Ethan, we are seeing a warm-up, like I said in our full forecast earlier, across Saskatchewan, and that is reflected in our temperatures tonight across most of the province. Let's take a look at some of our overnight lows we should expect in Saskatchewan. Tonight in the south and central regions, we are seeing warmer temperatures looking just warmer than -10. Maple Creek is seeing a low of -1 tonight, so quite a warm evening there. And then in the far north, we're seeing those temperatures down to -20, and we will see that snow start overnight in the far north, and by tomorrow morning we will have a good bulk of that snowfall happening there. A warmer day for the Churchill region, especially for Lalache and Beauville. As we take a look at the south and central parts of the province, we are seeing a warmer day tomorrow as well, with a nice mix of sun and cloud. By the time we get to the afternoon hours, Maple Creek might see a high of +13. So Ethan, it's, tough not to be jealous of Maple Creek on warm days like that when things are really heating up.
Yeah, feeling more like Summer Olympics weather than maybe Winter Olympics.
I couldn't agree more, Ethan.
Okay, thanks, Mickey.
Thank you.
And that is our news for this Tuesday. For more news anytime, you can head to cbc.ca/sask or subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel or download the CBC News app. Thanks so much for watching.